Johnny Story Season 5, Episode 5, where the interviews are reimagined into illustrations. On this episode, we have Jesse. Jesse's a personal trainer. He's my personal trainer, but don't judge him on that, because that would suck for him. I'm a slacker, and I've quit, I've restarted, I've quit again, I've taken time off, I've eaten poorly, but I'm about to get back into it again, and this time, I'm sticking with it. But I love his philosophy on how he wants to grow your body. And I've had personal trainers before, but he talks about it and the information that he has really brings it together. And plus you can tell the guy's just like built. You see him on his Instagram, he's doing all the work himself solo. God, who does that? Anyway, hopefully me soon. So the illustration was inspired by his favorite cartoon character, Hefty the Smurf. And I have not heard of or thought about Smurfs in years. I used to watch it when I was a kid. I thought it was a really fun way to do a little throwback illustration to that. We chatted a wide range of things, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So let's jump into it.
Right into it, huh?
It's on, but I have to mess the audio with that up anyway.
Oh, good.
And you'll forget that that's on because we'll be talking. I can't believe how nervous you are. You assume that anyone who's puts themselves through the pain of working out, that their confidence is really high.
I feel like I have a really good confidence.
Yeah, I know, but you, and maybe this is naive, but I think that sometimes people that work out their confidence leads into nearly every job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think it's most people that work out are compensating for not having confidence in some other ways?
I think, truth be told, most people that work out and are in it for aesthetics, they probably have lower self-esteem than most people think. Mostly because they're never going to be as good as they think in their brain.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
You'll see the Arnold Schwarzenegger physique. You'll see that type of stuff.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
say, I'll never amount to that. I got to keep working. I got to keep working. So
What's
body
the
dysmorphia is real in the fitness industry.
What's the most body type in a celebrity that most people look for?
I think in everybody's brain, they want to look kind of like big and jacked is what they want to do. But the reality is if you show them pictures, it's not as jacked as they think or not as ripped. So we always go back to like the Fight Club, Brad Pitt's physique.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So more lean, more athletic.
Yeah, or snatch kind of thing.
Yeah. So, but, to each their own.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, you ready to jump into this?
No, I'm trying to figure out the right or the left because I really like talking with my hands.
Yeah, just trade it out.
All right, here we go.
All right. Here we are, joining a story. We with Jesse here at his training facility for working out, and we're going to get into 10 questions. You ready to jump into them?
Let's go.
All right, Cybertruck, yay or nay?
That's a tricky one because we get that all the time. I hear that all the time. People ask me. It used to be a resounding yay.
Oh.
Right? But the reality is, for me, it's more about a semi-truck. Right? And the reason I say that is because when the Cybertruck first came out, it was like cool. It was like super different, and you want it because nobody else has it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in the area that we live, I see a few of them. In fact, one of my neighbors just got one.
Oh, yeah.
And so I see it all the time now, and it's like, I don't really want that. I'd like a semi-truck.
You want a semi-truck?
Absolutely.
Like a
like
double clutch, like
the Tesla semi-truck.
Oh,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That I would love that as a big one of the RVs. That would be so sick. And Tesla RV.
Yeah. So, and the main reason for the semi-truck is if you're spending that kind of, disposable income on a Cybertruck, right? The semi is not that much more expensive than the big, the 3-motor Cybertruck.
Yeah. Like the Beast, which is 120 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's also got, I don't get it because they're so fast anyway, but when you go to the Beast, it lowers the range where you'd want, to me, more range, but also it's still so fast. Like my Tesla Y is so bloody fast still, and I just don't see why you would need it. I'm not a fast driver. Like I'm not like a Leadfoot Larry, like going around. I'm kind of cruisy when I go. But if I need to, like, I can get up into that space because I need to get over. Like it does it so quickly. Just picks up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, gotta love the pickup on those Teslas. I just picked up a Tesla, same Model Y. But
what color did you get?
a white one.
Oh yeah, I wish I went
black.
white.
Yeah, so I elected for the performance one because
You went performance.
I'm coming from a E63, which is a Mercedes AMG.
Okay.
So it had a lot of pickup, 570 horses.
I guarantee
that
I guarantee my car would beat that car.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And the Tesla I got now beats it. But there's just something about, call it the short man complex, whatever it is, but I need something that'll get up and go.
I will say it's such a different, there's no like kickback. Like you just go, and you're like, dang, we're there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a different feeling. How long you had it for?
Ooh, probably, just like 5 months, 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. You're real fresh into it. So you're still like figuring out other thing. Here's a secret for you of the Tesla. When you press the, you can press the voice control and say open butthole. And it opens, I know, this is such an Elon Musk thing, and it opens the charger.
Really?
Yeah, and then it closes it.
I'll have to go try that.
Yeah, there's heaps of little fun things like that. Like you can do the fart thing on different people's seats. Have you done that one yet?
No. Is that
voice
command as well?
You can do it with a certain, like once you do it, you can do with a press of a button. So like you can, and it's got different, and you can have it on random sounds. So you can have, let's say, one of your friends in the car, and you like go, brr, and it sounds like they're farting. You're like, whoa, dude, calm down. And they're like, what? Like, no, that wasn't me. So it's a good one. It's a fun gag. Like that's why like you kind of get these cars. You're like, well, now we've got the technology to do all these fun, dumb stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Enough Cybertruck, enough talking, getting Elon, more shout outs. What do you do to pay the bills?
Autopay.
Autopay?
Yeah, I feel like it saves on the environment. No, if you were asking about my career,
yes.
It would be a strength and conditioning coach or sport performance coach.
Okay.
Take kids and adults through weight training, strength training, to try to help them become the best athletes that they can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, the reason I know you is because I've been coming here and I've been enjoying it. What would you say is a different workout philosophy that you have versus what? And I've been to other personal trainers, and honestly, your stuff has stuck with me more than other people's. But what different philosophies do you have? Like, how does you separate yourself?
Pretty simple. Just follow the science, right?
Yeah.
Everything we've learned in the labs, we kind of apply. I like to apply that. A lot of times we're still using archaic type of philosophies. We're talking about just sticking with like 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 15. We call those the repetition continuum. Yeah. If you are doing 3 sets of 15, for example, the general population would think what? Getting leaner, right? 3 sets of 15. 3 sets of 10 would be building muscles, for example. But that's not really what the science has shown us over the last 10 years. And then also, you take the individual, see what their goals are. Number one is we have to get the individual prepped for resistance training. So I'm talking about down to the muscle tissue, the soft connecting tissues, the tendons, ligaments, that type of stuff. I want to train those so they're able to take on the loads that we're going to do. Yeah. So it's a little progression. We don't just jump right into, hey, Matty, do 3 sets of 15 of this bench press, 3 sets of 15 of that squat. It's a good way to work, but it's not necessarily the ideal way to create adaptations in your body and make change. Yeah. Well, one of the things you mentioned is that about, and maybe for older people like I am, Let's get one thing straight. I'm older than you.
That's true, but you look younger than me. That's the problem. Is you're talking about how when you like getting your muscle at the full stretch of it, like so when I'm squatting all the way down or like pushing all the way up or letting it come all the way further, like and then like how you hold it, and that to me, I don't know, felt very different than other people that I've had train me over the years. So
yeah, for sure. So again, a lot of that has to do with we're trying to condition the tendons and ligaments first, right?
Yep.
So ultimately, if we're trying to become the best, not just athlete, but also, if you step outside and you step on a curb and you trip, you want to be able to respond to that as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And you want your connective tissue to be able to absorb some of that impact,
Yep.
right? So if you go in there and you're just repping out 3 sets of 15, a lot of times guys will just skip out on, there's 3 basic components to a lift, which is our concentric or the pushing of the weight out.
Yep.
The eccentric load, which is lowering of the weight.
Yep.
And then what you like to talk about is the holding,
Yep.
the isometric.
Okay.
So I like to take advantage of all 3 of those because that's how we're going to condition the
Which one do I
body.
complain about the most?
I don't even know if you complain. You just swear a lot.
Oh yeah, I do. I'm like a drunken sailor.
Yeah, and like I said, it's refreshing. I
Yeah.
like it.
No one said the C word in America more than I have, I don't think.
You're right.
So, how do you have your own studio here in Kirkland? How do you go about getting business? Like, do you advertise it word of mouth? Like, how do you do that?
I'm pretty fortunate. I mean, I did at the beginning, and the impetus for coming to my own facility again, because I've owned a facility for, I started training in 2000, and then owned one starting 2008 down in downtown Kirkland. I co-owned one.
Oh yeah.
And then I came back to this because of the big pandemic.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I had to start advertising right off the bat when we moved into this location.
Yeah.
And so mainly reached out to people that I knew. It's mostly connection based.
Yeah.
I know some coaches in different sports.
Oh, okay.
Met up with some of their teams.
Yep.
And started that way. I'm also fortunate enough to live in Kirkland. So a lot of times, we have a big population of athletes, young families and athletic kids.
Yeah.
So word of mouth is a huge one.
Yep. So if you get one of the kids that's like starts throwing like 75 and they used to be throwing 45 and they're like, oh, you know why?
Yeah.
It's Jesse.
Yeah.
It's not his growth spurt. It's just all you. That's what you say.
Not really.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I mean the truth is they're just getting bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'd claim it.
Part of it.
Yeah.
I'll take a little bit of a
little
part
slice of that cake.
Yeah. Because strength training is pretty important. For adolescent, we call them pediatric athletes.
Yep.
Far too often, parents now, they want them going into skill work, right? You're in 6th grade, go to a baseball guy who's just going to train you on baseball stuff, work on the skills. And unfortunately, that's just not what the data tells us. Right? The data tells us that at this age, we need to be working multiple sports, learning how to use your body.
Yeah. It's so funny because when I was younger, like I was not very coordinated, but I could do a lot of different sports. And me and my friends would pick a different sport, like not pick, it's sort of like we would learn about it and be like, well, we're going to do that for the next 6 weeks. And for some reason, we're just like all about it. And I was a skinny little rat. Like I was like a lollipop. Like I had a big head and just straight bones. I had hardly any muscle on me. But as soon as I turned to like, let's say 18, 19, all my coordination just went bang. I'm right in. I'd feel like my body and brain just went like, oh, we can now work in harmony. And it all just like figured it out. So I do wonder sometimes when we've done these exercises, if my body had known how to do all this stuff, if I would have found that coordination earlier, because I was just learning things on the fly. Like I'm just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was like, oh, okay, we're doing these squats. Oh, your body's learning how to do strengthen and hold that in this position or whatever it is.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I do. I actually really do think about that.
So, and that goes back to the beauty of, some of the control that we do when we do our lifts.
Yeah.
Again, when most people lift, it's just an explosive, up and down. So the true beauty of coming down slow, like we always work on, the eccentric load or the isometrics, is allowing the brain to tell the muscle tissue, hey, move in this fashion.
Yep.
So we're building a lot of innervation throughout the body. And so that's the coordination that you're talking about.
Yep.
But if you start that at a younger age, you're going to, become a lot more, capable as you age.
Do you, how to put this? When you have, like, new clients come in, how do you judge what they need? Like, I come in or a kid comes in, you're like, oh man, they got great flexibility, but I can't see the strength here. Like, what are the small details that you look for?
That's kind of what we talked about when you first walked in. Huh? You have great flexibility, mobility out of your hips.
Yep, I do.
Just take them through a quick assessment.
Yep.
Just see how their body moves. It's fairly simple. Have them take a squat, for example. You take a look and just have them perform the squat as they know it.
Yeah.
And then that tells me a lot about the movement patterns.
Yeah, but what little things, let's say in a squat, like, so if someone's watching right now or they're listening and they're like, what if I do a squat right now, and if they could be like, oh, like I'm thinking of something, but I want you to sort of, because I don't want to speak for you. If I do a squat, what are things that I should look for that I'm doing that might go, oh, hey, Jesse could help you out, or another different personal trainer with the same.
So what we need to understand is everything starts from the ground up. Right?
Yep.
My biggest saying is we build athletes from the ground up. So if you're doing a squat, for example, a lot of times kids will get on their tippy toes.
Yeah.
And that tells us, okay, so we're a little stiff in the ankles. We got to build up some mobility out of the ankles. And everything starts there, right?
Yep.
Because what happens is if we have stiff ankles, for example, now your body's going to start to tip. You're going to start to do all these compensations.
Yep.
And it'll allow you to perform the task.
Yep.
But unfortunately, it's because you are compensating with different joints.
Yep. Okay.
So everything kind of starts from the feet and the ankles, and then up to the hips, and literally up the kinetic chain.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. When I first felt like when you came in and then I was like doing squats, one, I didn't think I could do any squats. And so we did burnt my legs out the first day, but I think that was just me trying to power through too hard.
Be a hero. See, I told you, don't be a hero the first day.
I was crying. Can heroes cry while they're doing squats?
Alone in their bedrooms.
But I did notice like those things you were saying, and I was like, oh, I can do this if I sit correctly in it. And so even I, who thought I know my body pretty well now, if I do this squat, I won't be able to do it because of my busted ankle from a car accident or skateboarding or whatever. Or then figured it out. It was pretty amazing. I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you have any goals moving forward with your business that you were like, hey, I would love to take this to a multi-chain and have my face plastered over everywhere?
As much as I'd love that, this is the boring answer.
Yeah.
I'm getting old and I want to retire.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
That's, I love this
You're
stuff.
only slightly older than me. Like, when are you
Still
retiring? You're like 3 years older than me.
Still older. I'm actually pretty happy where I'm at. I've done the whole, I've owned a facility with 10 trainers.
Oh, wow. Right? That's a lot of personalities to have in it.
It's a lot of personalities. It's a lot of fires that you have to put out.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I just don't like doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'll take it one-on-one with the client. I'll take it, with the groups myself, lead the groups myself. That's more.
Which do you prefer? Other than me cursing for an hour straight.
Truth be told, I really enjoy the individuals.
Yeah.
Right. Because then I can really focus in on trying to get, whatever corrective issues we need to hit. Groups are fun. It's more like it's very difficult. So I also train some college teams, which I just in general aren't necessarily that fun.
Yeah.
Simply because you have to program for 55 guys, for example. Okay?
Oh wow!
And every athlete is an individual. And every athlete needs a different thing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we just don't have the time nor the reresources to individualize certain things for
that is really
athletes.
Really interesting, because I was just at teaching art and last night, and I had 4 students, and I was walking around. And each one of them needed a different piece of like information giving to them, like, hey, you're pressing too lightly with this pastel. We need to come in and over it. You're committing too hard and rushing too hard. I need you to slow it down. So it was like really interesting. So I could fully see that where 55 kids, and I'd be like, I would not be able to do that. There'd be too many.
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. So, definitely don't enjoy that more than the one-on-one interaction.
This is a pretty generic one, but for people out there listening right now, and if you could give them one way to sort of start either being fitter, or that obviously coming here would be a prime example, but if they're like, maybe they're a bit nervous, or maybe they could do one exercise a day that will like help trigger this process, that they could see maybe some sort of growth that they know, oh, hey, I can do that growth at home within this. Imagine if I went to a trainer or a gym or that. What's something they could do at home that might help trigger this?
Do you want the first page of Google or the 5th page of Google?
Whatever page you have put your little thing on.
I mean, first page of Google, simply get outside and walk.
Okay.
Everybody talks about 10,000 steps. Go and start doing that.
Okay.
The reality is you have to put your body into a position where it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
Right. So we're talking, for example, a single leg squat. Right. So, or a lunge. Some people will call it a lunge.
Yep.
You just put yourself in that position and start doing some of those. See what kind of how big of a range that you can get. And assess whether or not you can add some weight to it. A lot of times when people first start, they can't use weight. Right.
Yep.
And so body weight tends to be okay.
Yep.
As long as you go through some of the motions and then create these proper motor pathways.
Yep.
In the future, when you start getting more excited because your mobility just got bigger.
Yep.
You're not as sore in the morning.
Yep.
Now I want to add some resistance. Okay. Go grab a couple 5-pound dumbbells at the store and start using those.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you have to put your body in an uncomfortable position.
Yep.
Right? Not to where you're crawling on the floor like you were, right? That's not what you want. What we want is we want gradual over time. Mobility, flexibility, and resilience to an external load.
Okay. So obviously people can come here from like ground zero with you and be like, hey, I'm going to work with you to go up. If let's say they're able to get their 10,000 steps a day, be like, and hey, if you've achieved that, then like, go test out, like if you can afford it, obviously, because this is a bit of a luxury in life, to go to a personal trainer and like try that out. Like after the 10,000 steps, is that where you'd be? Or like, hey, try, if you feel like you can do 10 squats or 10 this, you've got the ability, like you've given yourself the ability to go do this. Like you're not going to waste that time, money or like that. You've got this. You know what I mean? Like I think for me, it's a mental thing. Like if my wife didn't kick me to come here, I definitely wouldn't have. But once we started doing it and I found things that we had done, I was like, oh, I can do that. And I think there's a lot of people where there's a big bridge or a gap that they can't get to going, oh, I could do that. You know what I mean? So like if they could doing that at home, like the 10,000 steps, like once they reach that, should they then say, hey, you can do this and come in?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, again, resistance training is where you want to do it. So the 10,000 steps is fantastic. It's a great start. So if you want to progress from that, if that's what you're asking, then you want to start, for example, we have a nice set of stairs down here at Forbes Creek. All right. Start walking some stairs, Okay. Walk a couple flights, and that'll give you the resistance that your body needs to adapt. Because, first of all, Cybertruck is disposable income, right?
Yeah.
Training is an investment.
Yes, actually, I see that as well. Yes.
So for the people that have not started, it's you kind of want to invest in yourself. So you have to put that in your brain. You can't think of it as, okay, it's a luxury. I'm going to get some training.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think they're going to come out feeling like I did the first day, or is where I'm like, you're feeling burnt every time. But the first time I feel burnt, and I know that I push myself like, like the cursing in here was more at myself than at you,
Sure.
obviously. But like I know that I pushed myself. But the second time I came in and we did the same thing, even with heavier weights, it didn't feel anywhere near as painful.
Yeah.
Like it really built up that quickly.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. So really, again, we're going to try to add a new stimulus to your program.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still sucks at the time.
Yeah, the stimulus is going to hurt, right? Because you've never done it.
Yeah.
We call it a novel stimulus. You've never done a bench press. You've never
Yep.
squatted. So the body just isn't used to that. So you're going to get super sore.
Yep.
So the process, at least for me and my
Yep.
programming, is we want to attack that again. So we want to do the same squat pattern that we just did.
Yeah.
We want to do the same push pattern that we did because your body will learn to adapt a little bit faster. Right?
Yep.
So a lot of times people will think, oh, I just need to do a different exercise every single time that I come in because you want to shock the muscles.
Yeah, I've heard
change.
that as well. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the data just doesn't prove that works. And in fact, if you change your workouts too often, you're not going to see enough change out of the system.
So when do you know to change? So like you've got someone coming in and you're like, hey, your squats are getting really good, but now we know we need to do those squats, but then we also need to work on most people only have an hour.
Yeah.
And so how do you maintain and grow in other areas?
Yeah, so the adaptation will likely occur around 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay.
So sticking on a program for roughly around 8 to 10 weeks
Yep.
is a good starting point.
Yep.
Some people, again, they adapt a little bit quicker. Some people adapt a little bit slower. And really, when it comes to individual, private sessions like you had, it's easier to track. Okay, we're gonna take a look and see exactly where we hit task failure when we do these repetitions.
Yep.
Right? So the problem that we have in fitness in general is we have these numbers. We always set it at 3
Yep.
sets of 10, 12, 15,
Yep.
and we're always shooting for 10. And if we hit 10, we're like, cool, I'm done
Yeah.
with the exercise. I'll rest. I'll take my 60-second rest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that doesn't lead us to changes that we want because we're not actually at the point where the muscles are no longer used to the stimulus and they have to adapt to it.
Okay.
So if we stick with these numbers of 12, 15, even 10, 8,
Yeah.
if you're always hitting that number, your body's just going to adapt to that number. It's
and
not going to
stay there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what I'm looking for is I want to try to take you through a range of numbers. Say, for example, 8 to 10. Right?
Yep.
That's our range. Okay. If Matty hits 9.5, okay,
Yeah.
then I know we're at that task failure. So
Yeah.
cool. We're going to stick with this for a little bit. Okay.
Yep.
Next week he comes in. Okay. Now we're at 9.75.
Yeah.
All the way to the full lockout of whatever exercise that we're
Yeah.
doing. Okay. We're still out there. Then we come in the next week, and then, 10. Perfect technique. Everything is great. He locks out at 10. Great. He's performed it. Let's see the next workout.
Yeah.
He did it again. 10. Fantastic. That means we have now, adapted to it, and he's able to perform it. Now let's load it up a little bit more, and, you go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely felt like I couldn't believe coming in each week and you'd be like, hey, we're going to add 5 pounds to this. And I'd be like, you motherfucker. Like, I can't believe this is going to happen. And then I would somehow do it. And so it was I was really proud of myself, but it was also, I was aware after the fact that you were able to see the increments that I was able to go, especially with like shoulder and ankle and stuff like that I've got going. You're like, oh, hey, let's try this. Oh, there is growth in that area. Let's push it a little bit further. And it wasn't like ridiculous. Like it wasn't like a gym junkie, like grunting, like you got to do this, like sort of thing. And it was like, it was really good. I enjoyed it. All right. What's your next question? Which fictional character is your favorite?
Okay, so this is how my brain works because I always have to understand, like, my favorite in what way.
So for me, I know it's tough for me as well. I can't ever give yes or no answers, and it's funny because in here it's like, well, under what circumstances am I in a funny mood? Am I in a like action movie mood or whatever? Honestly, you can say it any which way. If you might have a fictional character that's a cartoon character, like Calvin and Hobbes is a big influence of mine for drawing. You might have Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando because he was so jacked in that movie. Is there anything that sort of pops in your mind, like Kermit the Frog? Fuck, take that hat off. You might look like a Ninja Turtle.
Let's see. Fictional characters. I guess I can say for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Here, let's go this way. For entertainment purposes,
Yeah.
I enjoy online influencers.
Okay.
All right, like fitness influencers.
Okay.
Those are my favorite.
But they're not fiction. You think they're fiction?
Most of them are. Most of them are.
Oh, you think they're taking like steroids or something to get that?
Well, we don't want to assume things.
Assume. Okay.
But most online influencers are there for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
what I say. In terms of favorite fictional character, I guess we can go a little old school. Do you remember Hefty Smurf?
I remember the Smurfs. I don't remember Hefty Smurf.
You don't remember Hefty Smurf?
No. I remember
Oh.
Smurfette, Papa Smurf.
I'm not talking about like current iterations in the
Oh, no. I
movies.
meant like back when like
yeah.
was it-
I
what was
love
it?
that little guy growing up.
I cannot remember him, but that's funny. And I used to draw
He's the
Smurfs
little
all the
guy
time.
with the little heart on his arm. He was the very masculine. He was overbearing. He was sometimes mean.
Oh, wow. I do not remember him at all, but I'm going to look it up.
My goodness.
If we see it, I'm going to pop it up right here if I remember.
So yeah, there. Growing up, I was always, I could say things like He-Man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
He-Man was awesome. I loved He-Man.
But I guess when you talk about fictional characters, yeah, it would probably be somebody.
Hefty Smurf? All right.
Yeah.
So the 80s cartoons, you and I are probably sitting there watching the same ones, like Hanna-Barbera and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Like
Well,
Yogi Bear.
Maybe. Oh, I am older than you, though.
Yeah, but like only just. Just because you look so much younger than me. All right. What do you do for fun outside of making everyone else ripped in this community?
That's a sad question because I don't know, because I like to work out for my fun.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard. Like
Let's see.
there's no way you're in here with a smile on your
Let's
face
see.
lifting.
No, I'm not smiling. Absolutely not. No, you don't smile when you're lifting. Let's see. I guess I like to read nonfiction.
Oh, do you? What's a
Nonfiction
good nonfiction that you've read?
Well, I'm talking about just research.
Okay.
Doing research on different things.
Yeah.
Whether again it's within my industry or whether it's in, say, for example, equities markets.
Oh, wow.
Or
Okay.
sometimes, yes, unfortunately, we're in that cycle now. So political things.
Yeah.
So just nonfiction
Yep.
research on things.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
I just like
Boring
to
as
learn.
shit, but
I like to learn.
I
Come
love to
on.
learn as well. But I was like, if someone said, "Hey, let's go do something fun," I'm definitely not going to go, "Hey, yeah, let's go sit down and research some papers." Like I'm going to be like, "Let's go play pickleball. Let's go skateboarding. Let's paint a mural."
All right, so yeah, I mean, if you're saying all those things, I love sporting events. I love playing sports, basketball, for example. I'll go out and play a little bit of that.
Do you do any pickup
Those
games?
are-
Or anything?
Huh?
Do you do pickup games or anything, or is it just with your mates or something?
Yeah, pickup games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
local gyms around here always have pretty good games.
I always feel like anytime I see anything online or hear people talking about it, it always seems like people have always rough interactions at pickup games. Like someone,
Oh, 100%.
some old white dudes like fouling someone, but never was like that wasn't a foul. Like, and then they get
Yeah.
into fights and stuff. And
Well, everybody thinks they're Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah.
When they play, so and everything is a foul.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that they're Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Right? So, but it's still fun. you
Yeah,
know, The competition of it.
are you a layup or a 3-pointer?
I'm a defensive guy.
Oh.
Love defense. I play a little rough defense.
Oh, okay. So none of yours are fouls though.
Of course not. No blood, no foul. Right. But again, I grew up in that era.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Where good defense is, you are a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nowadays, you're 2 feet off the guy and
Yeah.
easy drives to the buckets. And
Yeah.
It's just not the same game as it was.
Not the same. Well, I don't know. I played basketball once, and the guy was saying cover the D, and I was like, I cannot see a fucking D on this floor.
Yeah.
And so after that, they didn't ask me to come back.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good amount of stuff.
What do you say to yourself to lift yourself up?
Lightweight, baby.
Lightweight, baby.
Yes. You should probably know who that is. Most people would know who that is. That's called Ronnie Coleman.
It's Ronnie Coleman.
One of the greatest bodybuilders of all time.
Oh,
yes.
he had a movie about him, right? Documentary.
Sure he has.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
really
got split. His discs are blown out now.
Oh yeah, now he is.
Yeah.
Great guy though. Great
Big, tall, black dude.
I wouldn't say he was necessarily tall. Most professional bodybuilders aren't tall, but
I thought he was like maybe not. I thought maybe he's taller than the other ones, and they're all shorter.
Most bodybuilders are under 5'10". Yeah.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what I would say to myself.
Oh, all right. Lightweight, baby. All right. What is a kind act someone has done for you that sticks with you?
Oh man. Clearly, people haven't done anything kind for me because I can't remember anything. I think that would probably. It's probably my fault I don't remember anything because I'm not I don't like getting gifts, or I don't like getting help. I'm kind of one of those kinds of guys. I know it's wrong. You should always accept help when you can. But
well, it sounds like when you were building this place up that you were reaching out to people, and so they must have been sharing the good word about Jesse and how he can like help you get fitter and stuff like that. So there must have been that, and
those are always really nice. And again, I can't pinpoint like one particular person because I have such a great network of people. But I guess I can say whenever somebody says my name, you know, in a stranger, whenever it's a stranger, whether it's at the restaurant or whatever, and they say your name, it's just like, oh, cool. You know, I'm acknowledged.
Yeah.
You know, so
I say your name, but it's usually like, fuck Jesse, fucking hell Jesse, come on.
That's true.
Who is someone alive that you would like to meet?
Okay, this is again how my brain works.
Yeah.
Meet because I just want to.
Like bang him? Arnold Schwarzenegger for you then?
More of a Warren Buffett type.
Oh, okay.
Because
you want to bang him? It's an old dude. He's fragile.
He'd be in the will. Let's see. So, would I be wanting to meet this person to enrich myself, or is this more of a entertainment? Because
so let's do one. Let's do entertainment. Let's do to enrich your life. Let's do one to one that would blow your mind.
Okay, so one for entertainment.
Yep.
Actually, let's simplify it. Okay, here we go.
All right.
What about Dave Chappelle? I would love to meet Dave Chappelle.
That would be wild.
Yeah. And I think it would cover all three.
Oh,
right?
really?
Because I do want to be entertained. He's an amazing actor.
I feel like just hanging around him, you'd just be like, dang, there's so many funny things going on.
Absolutely.
Like, and just, I keep going. So
that would be that for entertainment factor. Enlightening and enriching myself. I feel like, okay, so I think he's one of the good guys, meaning I think he knows all the stuff that goes on in the entertainment business, and he can tell us. Obviously, there's big scandals right now going on.
Yeah.
No
Diddy.
Yeah. And so I feel like he's probably been a part of that, and he can speak upon it and tell me, what's it really like back there behind the curtain.
Well, he stepped away from it. Like, honestly, you just never know, like, with any of this stuff, because it's so removed from from my world.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you never know what's true or what's rumor or whatever. But it is interesting that there was a big part where he stepped away from a huge chunk of money.
Yeah.
Left so many people in the lurch, like, and just was like, I'm out because I don't want to do X, Y, or Z to get that money.
Yeah.
And so that does give him some big credibility, you know what I mean?
Well, I remember when that happened, and there was all sorts of speculation on that. And
Yeah.
I think there might be speculation now where it's tied into what other folks were not willing to walk away from, which is why the big scandal going on right
Yeah.
now is going on.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones who was like, nah, I'm not into that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and all the money in the world is not worth it to me.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea what's true in there with that, but it is crazy that he just walked away and then, but also was, I don't know if this is the right word. It's probably too big for my vocabulary. Besmirched, like within everywhere, like, you know what I mean? Oh, he's crazy. He's this. He's that.
Yeah.
And so not only are you walking away for it, but you didn't try and defend yourself. You know what I mean? You didn't weren't going and doing the TV show panels. Oh, that's not me. That's this. He's just like, I'm out. Fuck this.
Yeah.
So,
Real person. That's one of the reasons I would really enjoy it.
I'd love to go to one of his shows out in Ohio, and like he has the Chappelle like stadium there, and you can go to like the private shows that he does there. Did you watch the like 8 minutes and 46 seconds?
I did not.
You should watch that on YouTube. It's real, like it's really sort of speaks to that sort of like authenticity and like, hey, I'm a comedian, but I'm talking on this stuff. And there's some jokes that he talks about that I'm like, I'm not on that joke, or some specials where I'm not sort of in, but at the same time I'm like, fire, that's a really good point that he makes. Or that it's, but again, not all comedies for everybody, not all movies are for everybody, and so but yeah, I agree. I'd love to meet that dude as well.
Cool. I got a good answer.
That was a great answer. When is the last time you rode a bike?
Ooh, that's been a while.
Is it because you're too big and you just tip over?
No, well, because I used to ride here. I live very close, but I stopped riding.
Because you have to go back uphill.
Because I have to go back uphill.
Like where we are, there's so many hills, and like anyone who's like, oh, I have to ride up a little hill. Where like in Australia where I was, there's a couple of little hills, but this is like you were downhill and then you're straight uphill.
Yeah.
And I hate it, so that's why I got an electric bike.
Yeah. Well, I got the little electric car for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, but you could pick that car up. That car is the
that one.
size of you. I'm sure your head sticks out the top.
But probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been a while since I rode a bike.
Have you noticed all the kids around here that are on the electric bikes, like zooming
They're
around?
not electric bikes. They're street legal motorcycles. is
Yeah,
what
exactly.
They are.
That's what I sort of.
A lot of them have those. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. My son has one, and I'm like, and we're like trying to wind back because we're just seeing a kid recently fell off one and broke both of his arms.
No.
And it's just like, yeah, like you guys, no one's realizing that. The people are, but we're also like, I think we're too deep into it, like open Pandora's box sort of thing. But they're all going too fast. They're going up roads, treating it like they're on the road, and then they jump off quickly or jump back on, and they don't know the road rules enough to be treating it like that. Yeah. I agree. All right, last two questions, and then I'm out of your hair. Well, hair, that's a bit of a. Maybe.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Imagine
if you just had one tuft here.
I'm pretty bald, you know. I'm getting old.
I'm getting old as well, but look at all this stuff. I'm killing it, baby. What are 3 things that you were grateful for?
You want the easy peasy answer, or do you want something different?
You can have both. You can have.
Let's see.
So you can check this off. Ready? Oh, family, great. Health. Great.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
You can have those
Let's
as give me.
see.
So you can have 3 where you're.
Number 1. Yeah, I'll have to go to that. The ability to breathe. Right. Number 2. How about the ability to reason?
Ooh, wow. I haven't heard that one yet. That you're a first. Good job.
Not just a meathead?
Well, that's no.
Hefty Smurf? No? Let's see. And then number 3, I would have to say the ability to teach.
Ooh,
The
wow.
ability to teach everything that I've learned myself.
Yep.
All right, so
Cool.
I think it's important, especially at my age, right, to disseminate all the information that I've gathered
Yeah.
through my nonfiction research.
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I don't go out and play pickleball.
The most boring. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sitting down and doing non-fiction research.
There you go, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. How's that?
Yeah,
the ability to breathe, ability to reason, and the ability to teach.
I really enjoy those. Most people are like family, health, and stuff like
That's
that.
what I was asking. Like,
Yeah. But I think that's fine to answer those things because some people, I think, like I love my family and that stuff, but then I think back to like, oh, the population's just growing on Earth, so everybody's like, people can have a family, people can have this stuff, and sometimes that stuff is taken away. But as human race, we grow. So I try and think of things that, and my wife and I do this every night, 3 gratefuls each. And it'll be something small like, hey, I'm really glad that I was able to borrow the car today to do this or something like that. Or it worked out that I could use the car, whatever. Something small like that. And then sometimes it's really big, like I'm so glad that the universe, the way it is, I just had this feeling about that tonight. And it ranges, everything in between.
Yeah.
And so for me and her, we get to sort of dip in and out, so it's hard for people to go like bang 3, and I want to say something that's profound.
Yeah.
But seeing the one that stuck with me is the reason one, that I really liked of that answer. What makes that like something that you're grateful for? Like, what reasoning are you doing that is making
I don't want to be a lemming.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to take in information. You have to make your own judgments. Again, this isn't just because of the cycle that we're in right now.
Yeah.
But we're talking also in my industry, right?
Yeah.
I harken back to when we talked about nonfiction, versus fiction in the influencer space.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to take that information and really figure out, hey, is this real?
Well, it's also hard for people like, say, people like me that look at that stuff and be like, well, that guy's ripped. Of course he knows what he's talking about. Or there was the V-Shred guy that was going around. What if I told you that you don't need anything but this one supplement? But after this, like, work with me here as I get through this and like that. And for people like me, I'm like, well, is that what people are doing to get ripped? But how do you decipher what's real out there in that pocket and what's not? Like, how can you help people out there now go, obviously, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. But how do you?
Yeah, I mean, you have to really have your trust in, who you pay attention to, because even now there's a lot of, we like to call them fake PhDs online.
Yep.
So
I like to call them pretty huge dicks.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a really, really popular one right now over the last. And they just debunk themselves through their own research. But for the last couple of years, they've been mentioning a lot about what people might understand as long length partials.
I have no idea what that is.
And people in my industry, we understand as stretch mediated hypertrophy.
Okay.
And basically, you stay in a stress position and you do your lifts all in a stretch position instead of a full range.
Okay.
So you'll get these guys with PhDs, and they're really pushing for these, long length partials.
Yeah.
And literally last week, they just started coming out together as a band of guys saying, oh, well, we did the research and it's not better than full range of motion, but hey, we told you so. It's really good. So they're moving their goalposts.
Yeah.
So all the general population that read into these guys, the 15, 16-year-old boys that want to get jacked, they're looking into that and they're saying, oh, it's a doctor, it's a PhD, it's this and that.
Well, I always think when someone says like PhD, I'm like, where'd you get that PhD from? Like you know what I mean? Like most things I see online, I just assume are fake. So.
Yeah, and most of the times they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're cut out of context.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you ever, are you on any social medias or anything like that?
I am on just Instagram.
Yeah. To promote this or just to consume?
So create.
Create.
Yeah, I'm not a huge consumer of social media.
Okay, so when you're creating out there, because I actually didn't even think about this, because are you creating out there to get your knowledge out there more, or to promote to get people to come into this business?
I guess you could say a little bit of
Both?
but
Okay.
primarily it's a way for parents to kind of follow along and see what's going on, and
Yep.
where a lot of my philosophies come from.
Yep.
I'll do a lot of citations. I'll make sure people understand, okay, this is why we do certain things.
Yep.
Because a lot of times athletes will just listen to a coach, and even though the coach is telling them something that's not necessarily the ideal thing to do.
Yep. Okay. Oh, really interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to give you a follow.
You haven't followed me yet?
I didn't even know. I just assumed that you didn't, because of some of the conversations that we've had. So I was like, well, he's not on that stuff. But I'll definitely hear, and I'll post it in
Heartbreaks
the...
you're full of heartbreaks today.
I do follow this.
Twice now for me.
Do you? I know. I don't. And I think it's way worse for me. What I was going to say is, do you follow this podcast?
I do not.
Oh, so the paddle goes both ways, fucker.
But I will today.
Ah, now you...
Let me jot that down. Okay.
I'll make sure it's in the description as well, so if people want to follow, because
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I really like when you talk about reasoning and that sort of stuff, and that led on to this conversation. I can't stress how much coming in here has really... I've seen the difference. Like, it's not huge difference in my body, but I've definitely felt it. And after the fact, I'm like, oh, like the week in between, I'll feel the difference, and I'll be like, that. Even if when I came in, I was like, wow, this is a fucking another gym rat. It's gonna fucking tell me to push stuff, and then
Lightweight, baby.
yeah, and then I'm gonna be like feeling sore, and then whatever. But I definitely felt the growth, and it's really been a big positive for me. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Last question.
Hit me.
You have to wear a shirt with a slogan on it for a year. What does it say? Yeah.
Okay. Good.
But I do
give me a
appreciate
moment.
that.
Let me think.
Fucking hell.
Let's see.
And honestly, I just call this place Jesse's place.
Actually, I have a shirt. It would be father figure. So
I've got a father figure.
There you go. It's a slogan it's playing off of the whole dad bod.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Everybody loves the whole dad bod thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's a father and then father figure.
Okay. Father
So
figure.
rather than just being about you and your dad bod,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're a father figure.
All right. I'm trying to think, like, what's the version of, like, when you know how people call their, like, I can't stand it, but they say daddy, like when they're like, oh, there's my daddy. Like, is it not kids, like the partners, like, that sort of culture, like.
Yeah, it's a little less out of my wheelhouse.
Anyway, I thought that would be a funny thing there if it was a daddy figure, and like, but there's dollar signs like sugar daddy figure. That'd be funny. But anyway, well, Jesse, I appreciate you being on here. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's always
blast.
fun seeing you. You're fucking funny, and it's fun to be there. If anyone is in Kirkland, come hit up Jesse. He'll help you out and get you ripped.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matty.
How'd you feel?
I don't know. The camera's still rolling.
It doesn't
so
matter.
I'm still